This is the Great Legend, and I'm coming at you live. And today, we got a lots of stuff to show you, man. I got some new books, some new hardcovers, man, and a plethora of others. That wasn't meant for a rhyme, actually. I just couldn't remember the name of the title. But we got some new back issues, new reads. We got a lot of cool stuff, and I thought I'd come at you live here on old Saturday morning, November 16th, to let you know what I've been doing lately, man. It's been a long time since I've done like a comic book video, and I want to show you some of the cool stuff that I've been reading lately and getting, and things of that nature that I haven't been able to discuss, on the Comic Core. I wasn't feeling good last night for Off the Rails, and the previous night on Comic Core, definitely check it out. We had Gordon Smuter, co-producer of Transylvania Television, man, great freaking guy, a lot of fun to chat with, and he gave us some insight on his history and, how he got to where he is today with his Puppet Forge website, where he makes a lot of the puppets, kind of like the old Muppet-style puppets, And, man, just great guy, a lot of success, and was doing a kick-ass job on Transylvania Television on Amazon Prime. So I want to open up first with giving a big shout-out to my main man, Discovery Bay, all the way down from San Fran Town. The DBC at Discovery Bay Comics. That's your one place you need to know about if you want to know what's going on in the comic book community. He is the one channel guide of the comic book community. So definitely check out Discovery Bay Comics, man. He's one of the best, and he is in the chat up there. Man, also we have, thank you so much, we got Perry Comics. He's looking around and lurking and checking up on everyone in the comic book community as well. He's got a great channel. He does a lot of collaborations with other comic book channels, and he spotlights comic book channels. So if you're watching the Great Legend Show and you're making your way over from Perry Comics, thank you so much. Thank you, Perry. Luis Ramirez 504. Great to see you, Luis, man. You're going to be glad to know I've got some comics to show today. So first off, I want to kind of go over this book here. I haven't taped it up yet, so, it's got the flap on top. This is the Dick Tracy Treasury that Carson got me from Baltimore Comic-Con. Y'all may know Carson. He's this hot, cool guy named C. Woodard19. Check the man out. He's really cool. He's really fine. He's got a great Tuesday live stream that he does every now and then. Usually once or twice a month he'll do it. But this is a Dick Tracy Treasury. So I've been reading through this Treasury. It's been by my bedside table. Or, by my bedside. It's pretty big for a table book. It's got some good villains on the back there. Some classics. Actually, those are his helpers. The villains are on the front here. And the main villain we're going to be talking about today is Flat Top. So I've been reading a lot of Dick Tracy Treasury here. And this Treasury is pretty much the, how Flat Top got his start right there. You see he's kind of taking a cab. And the main plan is he lures Dick Tracy into a cab with some help from some other bad guys. If you see over here where my index finger is, this is where they lure Dick Tracy into the cab. They stage a fight where two guys are trying to share a cab, but one guy's not paying up his portion, so they kind of start a fight there. And then Dick Tracy sees him, and he goes in and sees what's going on. Is everything okay here? Blah, blah, blah. And when the other guy on the outside of the car shoves Dick Tracy into the taxi cab and pretty much flat top kidnaps Dick Tracy. So Flat Top's got Dick Tracy. Flat Top's going to be getting paid $5,000 from 3 big-time crime boss kind of guys, and because they want to get Dick Tracy out of the picture. As Pruneface says, they want to rub him out. Always, the villains are always trying to capture Dick Tracy. Before you had a lot of the famous Batman villains, before you had a lot of the famous Spider-Man villains. That's one of the big debates, and we've had that debate last Friday on Off the Rails, basically, with our Mega Powers brothers, Biggie Shaq and Comic Head 84. We had the debate on who has the best rogues gallery. And I'm going to tell all of you right now in the comic book community, I never think of it as a rogues gallery, but man, Chester Gould had one hell of a rogues gallery, you know what I'm saying? I mean, for a guy to write all the way from, like, I want to say maybe the late 20s all the way up to about 1980, that's pretty extensive rogues gallery, you know what I mean? Very cool. So the cool thing about that treasury that I just showed you, it has color artwork inside it. Now, this is a collection I collect, hardcovers, the complete Dick Tracy by Chester Gould. This is Volume 8, Pruneface Laffy, but also you get Flat Top on the very back. So this starts at the very end part of the story, this starts the Flat Top storyline, which is some of the stuff I just showed you. Basically, Dick Tracy takes Flat Top to a hotel to kind of keep him under wraps, keep him out of the way, because Flat Top needs to get paid, right? So, and Flat Top wants $5,000. Now, once Flat Top has Dick Tracy, he actually is going to get more money out of the 3 guys that he originally had the deal with. And this is him. Well, that's Dick Tracy playing piano right there, but that's classic. Oh, I like, yeah. This is good stuff. Now, the crazy thing about this, and I'll show you, this is what it looks like on the inside. These are the original dailies from that Chicago Tribune, I think it was in. Yeah, the Chicago Tribune newspaper. But these are all black and white. The cool thing about this treasury that Carson gave me, it's all colored on the interiors by, no doubt, some folks over here at DC. So that was really cool, and that was a lot of fun to kind of see how some of the Chester Gould's artwork would pop when color is added. So I loved that about that treasury I'm reading. But I do read these. I'm going to go back. I'm going to, spot on and no extensive reading. This is Volume 8, and of course we find out Flat Top's demise in Volume 9. That's Volume 9, 1944 to 45. So I thought I'd show you Volume 8 again, 42 to 44. You got Pruneface, Mrs. Pruneface, 88 Keys, Laffy, Nifty, Frizzletop, Flat Top, and then on this one, after they finish up the Flat Top storyline, you get a lot of the stuff with the brow in there. You also get Measles, Snowflake, Gravel Gertie, Breathless Mahoney, of course, who Madonna played that in the Dick Tracy movie, and then you get Shaky over here. So very cool. I've got all of these that have come out: 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. I got 26 of these things. But freaking love Dick Tracy. And like, back to what I was saying, and I'm going to check the chat again. I mean, you got to give Chester Gould and some of the Dick Tracy rogues some freaking love, man, because that is one hell of a rogues gallery. So freaking awesome. Let's check the chat again. Luis Ramirez is saying hey to Perry and Discovery Bay. What is up, Kyle? Kyle Walker did a kick-ass live stream yesterday showing off all of his new stuff that he's been picking up, working on that 2080 Judge Dredd, kind of his checklist. He's going through that. Oh, here's another awesome guy. Hey, man, what is up, Robert Galvin? The comic book G-Spot Galvin baby is here. Great to see you, Robert. Thank you so much for stopping by today, man. Thumbs up, man. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. There he is, Iron Knight Gaming. You do have Injustice Year 1 through 5. I got 1 and 4. I need to get those other books. Year 1 through 5. I do have those. I have those little hardcovers of Injustice. And each year, you know, usually you get the 2 mini, you know, those thin hardcovers. I do have those, and I'm gonna think I'm almost. I think I'm almost done. I'm working on Injustice 2, the hardcovers, but there's going to be a lot more of those, and I've already got some. I just need to check to see what I have and what I don't have. But that is very awesome, very cool, just like the G-Spot Galvin is saying, man. You got to love some Dick Tracy. Uncanny Kawaka also says he might go live today as well. So, man, that is freaking awesome. So, my nighttime reading, thank you again, Seawood19. I'm about halfway through. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it with Flat Top. So Flat Top gets these guys to pay him $50,000 to kill off Dick Tracy. But while all this stuff's going on, Flat Top meets this beautiful girl who lives in the apartment above him, and little does he know, but this girl is learning like things to help the police officers. I can't remember. It's some kind of coding thing. It's Morse code basically, but she's going to be working with the police at the police station on this Morse code stuff or something like that. I can't really remember. I mean, it's the 1930s. It's kind of hard to equate some of them old times to the modern times. But what happens is Dick Tracy hears her on the top apartment. No, or is Dick Tracy on the top apartment? I don't remember. But either or, he hears this Morse code, so he starts doing Morse code as well. So she notifies the cops, and the cops are going to help free Dick Tracy because they set up shop in the apartment either above or below. I want to say Dick Tracy's apartment is above because he's playing piano, and he asked Flat Top if he can play piano, so he's kind of tapping his foot on the ground, so that's how they hear it. And then on the flip side, the police chief's able to contact Dick Tracy through a little pipe in the wall, one of those old school those old school heaters that are in a lot of the old school New York and Chicago kind of apartments. So finally, Flat Top, right when Flat Top's about to kill off Tracy like lunges for him. He takes a shot to the side, but he still frees up the hand, and Flat Top's aiming like this, and then all of a sudden, bam! Flat Top fires a shot. It's got a silencer on it, but you see this like little, like it hits one of the bad guys, like a freaking headshot. And you got a little bit of that blood going, but dude, I was like, damn, that's a good shot by the old Flat Top. See, Flat Top's an assassin, he wants to kill off Dick Tracy for that money. And then he goes down. While all that's going on, Dick Tracy lunges for a Tommy gun and shoots the other 2 bad guys while Flat Top escapes on the fire escape. Yeah. But and then after that, Flat Top meets up with a little kid, and he pays the little kid money so Flat Top can stay with his mom because his mom has a room for rent. And then the kid starts hounding Flat Top for more money because he sees Flat Top's picture in the paper and knows that, Flat Top is a bad guy. So the little kid starts blackmailing Flat Top for extra money. He goes on a damn spending shopping spree, buying everything from new clothes to new ice skates, all this kind of stuff. While at the same time, the cops, they've rescued Dick Tracy, but they have a plan. They go ahead and call the other 3 bad guys who were, awaiting, the money for Dick Tracy's death. So what they do is, before they call him, they give a day. They fake Dick Tracy's death. It's because he did take a bullet. And when that newspaper comes out the following day, Flat Top's like, yeah, I'm in the good. I got this guy killed. Now I just got to go pick up the rest of the money. But at the same time, the cops call those 3 other bad guys that were going to pay Flat Top the extra $50,000. And then they find out that the cops find out, and then Dick Tracy's muffling his voice, and what's your address again? And so that leads the cops and Dick Tracy to the 3 guys that originally wanted Dick Tracy dead. So boom, they nab 3 guys right there. And then I'm up to the part where the kid is not supposed to go out on the ice because he got the new ice skates. He's not supposed to go out on the ice. He ends up drowning, and then so the cops are investigating that murder, but at the same time they're wondering how this little kid got all this money to buy all this new stuff. And of course they find some of Flat Top's hidden money in that kid's apartment. And then Flat Top looks through the door and sees all the cops are there, and then he leaves out another fire escape to get the hell out of Dodge. So they're in pursuit of Flat Top, and man, it's like one of those like heart racing like deals, because at the same time Flat Top's trying to get away, trying to survive, but he has basically no money now, because the money that he did have was in the apartment that the cops now have. So the cops are in fast pursuit of Flat Top, but man, it just keeps getting better and better and better. So if there's any time out there you ever find, like, of course the complete Dick Tracy hardcovers are a little bit pricey, because they're library bound. I mean, they're legit freaking hardcovers. But if there's ever any time where you can pick up like a treasury of Dick Tracy, I don't know if this is the only Dick Tracy treasury they've done or if there's more. I do have a website to a list of all the historic treasuries that came out. But even like the old Dick Tracy Dell 4 colors, if you can find some of those, or even some of IDW, they have the newer Dick Tracy stories like Dick Tracy Dead or Alive or Dick Tracy Forever. Those are both really good. I've only read one of them, though. I want to get the read the trade or read it in digital on the, I think it's Dick Tracy Dead or Alive. Dick Tracy Forever is the one I've read and got all the issues for that. But I mean, you gotta love 1930s cops and gangsters and stuff like that. And Chester Gould's no slouch. I mean, he basically wrote, like I said, late 30s. I don't know the exact dates. Maybe late 20s. Yeah, it would be late 20s most likely. Or 1931 maybe. Anyway, kick ass. Read some Chester Gould. Read some Dick Tracy. You'd be glad you did. What is up, man? Comic Head 84. Oh, yeah. And Creature. Dude, Creature, long time no see. Creature has a lot of those old school classics. I've seen him with some Dells and Gold Keys before. Some old-timey books. But, man, great to see y'all. So what else have I been reading? In my other time, I haven't read a lot of my new books lately. The last thing I read was some comics I'm going to unbox here, but I've been reading this book from my library, the Shazam, the World's Mightiest Mortal by C.C. Beck. And I actually got my Shazam short box, drawer box right there that has a lot of these issues. These are the issues from the 1970s when DC got the rights back from Shazam. Just look at that. I mean, that's just cool. It really pops on that yellow, So when DC got the rights back, they have, of course, they have that Shazam #1 from February of 1973. A lot of you want to get this book here because it's a good key issue if you're into that character, and it's the first DC reiteration of Shazam. Of course, we have these new stories are done by Denny O'Neil was the one I wanted to tell you about. C.C. Beck, of course, he's old school. They brought C.C. Beck back from the old Fawcett days to do the art for these stories. But the difference is we're now in the 70s. It's Denny O'Neil. So you get to find out how Billy and a lot of those people from Fawcett or whatever were in suspended animation due to Dr. Thaddeus Savannah. But you get a lot of that. You get this one was a classic. Let me see. It was this issue #2, I believe, where you have the Mr. Mind makes his appearance, so you got issue 2 right there, and then you have, I love this little panel, right, or this big page here where Mr. Mind's going after the big red cheese, and they're in the heart of St. Louis, with the St. Louis Bridge. But it's set in the 70s, and you get to figure out Billy Batson in the 70s. He's been in suspended animation, I guess, since 1953, when the last issue of the Marvel Family, issue 89, came out. Which, that's a key issue. I've always been trying to get a good copy of Marvel Family 89. Is it Marvel? I think it is Marvel Family 89, where on the cover it has the silhouettes of Captain Marvel Jr., Mary Marvel, and Captain Marvel, Shazam. And it has question marks, saying what's going on. But so it's their last issue in that issue there. But it's a great book. I mean, you get all the 70 stuff. What you don't get in this is you don't get the reprints, because a lot of these issues that DC was publishing in the 1970s, they of course had the new stories mainly written by Dennis O'Neil, and you had the reprints. But in this book, you're only getting those newer stories. They're not putting the reprints in here. Another famous one, Carson dropped the news. You know, we say this, Carson dropped the news, or the first one to break stuff, you know. And I know Lords of the Long Box, they're the first to break a lot of news and stuff like that. But what was really cool, Carson dropped some good news the other day that, let me see if I can show you the picture. So I don't want to spoil it, but if you see the picture, then you'll freaking know what I'm trying to tell you today on the Great Legend Show here. So this was posted on Rock's Instagram page the other day, and it says 12/22/21. Dude, Black Adam's coming to the silver screen, man. I cannot freaking wait for that. Like I said, there's a issue, second Black Adam appearance, not in this book, I don't believe. Let me look at the I suck with issue numbers. Yeah, I doubt it would be in this book. Let me take a quick... Yeah, it's in issue 20-something or rather, but that's going to be a hot book. Again, you know, it's usually up and down. But a lot of these Shazam comics from the 70s are... the speculators love them because, one, they don't, you know, may not have the cash for some of the Golden Age stuff, but it's a great way to get into some Shazam. However, man, it's only getting more expensive to collect back issues due to the fact that, you know, a lot of people always, you know, have a lot of questions about speculation, but speculation's really an easy thing to go over. Basically, if there's a movie or a TV show that is going to be coming out, then all the comic books are going to be going up in price. I remember the funny thing, when I went to C2E2, I was enamored with all the damn Golden Age Captain Marvel Adventures, Wiz Comics, Marvel Family. All of those books were on the walls of, you know, at that place, and I was like, you know, the only reason those are on the walls is because of the Shazam movie and how cool it was. Other than that, I mean, those books wouldn't be worth, you know, what the lucrative prices they are now. But with the power of social media and being such an easy way to advertise and to hype things in people's lives and get those people mesmerized, I mean, it really sucks the sheep in, if you will. I don't want to call people sheep, but it's that marketability of social media and how they can really suck you in with some of the ads and things like that that control your mind. So you got to be the one to, you know, you control the internet, you control the social media, you can control the websites you go to. Don't let those websites, don't let those ads, don't let that social media control you. Once it controls you, that's when you probably need to take a break. You know what I mean? Next up, I got another hardcover. This was my comic shop pull from the last month, and I finally got it. I've got the volume 6 of the 6-gun deluxe edition hardcovers. Not too shabby. You know, these hardcovers usually come banged up. Just a little bit of damage in the mail right there. But beautiful hardcover here. This collects the last 3 issues of the 6-gun, 48, 49, and 50. And it also collects the... Ooh, I like that one. Also collects the other 2 mini series that they've done. But look at that, man. That's just beautiful artwork by Brian Hurt. I don't want to look at it too much because I haven't read this one, or I haven't even gotten this far in my 6-gun collection. Let me fix my little ribbon thing here. They got that nice little fabric-y bookmark ribbon thing that's sewed in on the back side here. Get that tucked in, and then I'll get back to the chat and see where it's at, and then I'll show you some of the more new stuff that I got. There we go. It's good enough anyways. Really cool. It has the 48 through 50s, the Boot Hill story arc. Also the 3-issue spin-off miniseries Dust to Dust, and the 3-issue spin-off miniseries called Valley of Death. So You get a lot of good stuff. You get Cullen Bunn, Brian Hurt, Bill Crabtree on the inks, I believe. Or no, he's the colorist. Tyler Crook, AC Zamudio, Cat Ferris, and Ryan Hill on some of those minis. But very kick-ass. The other mini they did, and I don't know what deluxe it's in. It may be in Deluxe 5, Deluxe 4, Deluxe 3, is the Sons of a Gun storyline, which talk about how each gun and how each gun found its owner. And of course we had General Hume had the gun that told him the future so he could win a lot of battles. His wife had the gun, the Fountain of Youth gun, where you shoot someone, and when you shoot that person, it will give you, young appearance. It's kind of like drinking the old cup of Christ. It keeps you young or whatever. Last Crusade, Indiana Jones, if y'all didn't know. And you had the gun that, like, caught people on fire. You had the explosive gun, kind of like one of those Theodores from Borderlands, you know what I mean? You fire a bullet off, it just explodes in a big explosion. Like I said, the one that does fire. You had the plague gun where you shoot someone and they get the plague and all their skin dissolves off, kind of like acidic. And then you get the gun where you shoot like a dead corpse and it rises up into a mud monster. So all of those guns, man, very freaking cool. Let's check the chat. Well, hi, Creature's in there. Looks like statues of Sandman, Doom, Namor behind you. Who's the last on the end? That's actually, I know it's a little blurry. That's the Super Scroll. So I kind of have that, kind of some Fantastic Four folks up on the top, I got some Kotobukias and things like that. And if I ever get some better lighting in, I've got 25% of my room clean right now, which is really damn good. Pretty much, I would say 25% of my room is clean, which is awesome. I got a path to walk to and everything. And, I'll have to show you some of the statues. They're all Bowens up there. Really cool. Let's open up these. These are the new books that I got. So these are kind of the books that, a lot of you will go to your comic shops every Wednesday to get the latest and greatest of all the new books and things of that nature. Now me, being that I'm kind of an old grizzled veteran of the YouTube comic book community, I don't buy as much as I used to. I'm kind of a frugal guy when it comes to new books. And plus, how can we not talk about digital comics? I mean, dude, digital. Is there any other way to read them? All right, so let's see what we got in here. Ooh, look at this one here. Now, these will be going in Mylar, but this is just the books themselves. Fantastic Four Grand Design #1. Dude, I read probably 25% of this already. It's just very long, and there's like got to be 1,000 panels in this stuff. I like this one. This is Ed Piskor, and it's after Frank Miller, the Dark Knight cover where it had Batman all hunched into it. Isn't that cool, though? You got to get... I had to get all the variants, man. A lot of these Fantastic Fours, I do like getting a lot of the variants, too. This is really cool. I never thought about this, but I bet if I put 3D glasses on right there with that blue and red outlying the white, I bet I can get some 3D effect on that. But yeah, so I got all 3 covers of those, 3 covers that I know of. What else did I get in here? Oh, yeah, classic. I'm saving this series to really read. I read the first 2 issues, but I kind of want to, read it all together, and that's Freedom Fighters. That's a 12-issue maxi series. I'm a huge fan of the Freedom Fighters. Of course, I got the Freedom Fighters first appearance. It was Justice League of America. I don't remember the issue number, but it was a 2-part storyline where instead of the Justice League hooking up with the Justice Society, the Jay Garrick and the Barry Allen, each year they usually meet up once after the classic Flash issue 1, 2, 3, where Jay and Barry are running to that person that needs help, where they're both trying to save her at the same time. But anyway, in the old days, I mean, the Earth 1 and Earth 2 heroes would usually meet up, but in this particular issue, the 3 of the Earth 1 heroes and 3 of the Earth 2 heroes get teleported to Earth. God, what was it? It wasn't Earth. Was it Earth X? Crisis on Earth X? I can't remember, but whatever the Earth was where the Germans won the war. God, my mind is fried today. I don't know why, but very damn cool. That's just a kick-ass. It's just a kick-ass cover with Uncle Sam right there. So, love me some Freedom Fighters. You know, I got the first appearance of Phantom Lady, first appearance of Human Bomb in Police Comics #1, along with first appearance of Firebrand and Plastic Man, the 6.0 Blue Label. That's one of my little Grail books of the old days. They threw in one of these. Usually I just chunk those. I don't ever read that stuff. Now, this was Year of the Villain. This is a JRJR. It looks, yeah, it has to be JRJR. Yeah, it is, okay. Because that, you could tell the pencils, the way he does his pencils and stuff. JRJR, Year of the Villain, Black Adam. Eager to read this. This is where, I guess, the Black Adam of our Earth is going to be fighting the Shazam Who Laughs, who is from that dark multiverse. And I don't read any Dark Knight Metal, Batman Who Laughs. I don't read any of that stuff, but it was about Black Adam and its showdown with the infected Shazam. I know there was a book inside the new Batman Superman series, which was the first appearance of the Shazam Who Laughs. I didn't pick it up, you know. I'll read it eventually when it comes to digital, but I saw this one, I saw JRJR, and I like JRJR, and I was like, well, if it's just a battle with our Black Adam versus some of these freaks that laugh a lot, I'll go for it. Another one I haven't read, and I read the first 3 issues, and I've really been digging it, is the Invisible Woman storyline by Mark Waid. This has been really damn good. Got Mattia de Ulis inside the art there. We got an Adam Hughes has been knocking it out of the park with these covers. I've thoroughly enjoyed those. But really kick-ass stuff. It's kind of a flash-forward, flashback storyline where they need her for some more. It's pretty much just reminds me of the Invincibles, or what is that little group? Invincibles, that little Disney family that Pixar did. But it kind of reminds me of that, where the government is trying to pull her back into some of this espionage, secret agent stuff. And if you think about it, if you are a connoisseur of the old school Universal monster classic movies, damn, the freaking tape is stuck to my god dang microphone cord. Holy hell. You only get those kind of fuck ups live. Anyway, The Invisible Agent, classic Universal Pictures, where if you do, or if you, it's like The Invisible Man, you know, Claude Rains, but not Claude Rains. It's another actor that does it, but they use the invisibility potion to infiltrate enemy lines back in World War II times. So, I mean, you got a more modern day story like that, if you will, but very cool. Invisible Woman's just awesome. Black Widow's helping her out there. Now, I have not read my Fantastic Four lately. And this is called Point of Origin Part 3. Oh, yeah. Okay, I did Point of Origin Part 1, so I need to read Point of Origin Part 2. But yeah, so basically that's the storyline where, you know, Fantastic Four #1, November 1961. They're going on a mission, right? You know, see the stars, whatever. And cosmic rays hit them. They crash land back on Earth. But this Point of Origin, this is the story where they're going to try to complete their initial first engine with, I want to say it's the same rocket but a little souped up, or a one built to the specifications of the old school rocket. But I love this cover here. This looks close to a... cover is just freaking awesome. I don't know who did this cover, but it's kind of that's a good cover. I dig that cover. Kind of reminds me of an Art Adams type, with the brow coming off the cranium there a little bit. But Point of Origin, so I need to get caught up on that. And I don't know why I got the variant for it, but this is called the 2099 variant. Well, maybe because it was Greg Land, but I just love it. Looks pretty cool. A lot of times, you know, a lot of us out there, we love variants. We hate variants. I'm kind of in the middle. If it's a variant of Fantastic Four, I do usually try to get them if they're in the right price range. And if the cover looks great, by all means, man, pick it up, because you are your own. You're your best you're your best way at critiquing what you want. Collect what you like, love what you collect. The Great Hippies Collectibles. Ooh, look at that. Okay, I want to show you this one next. And I haven't read this issue yet. This should be issue 4. Yes, it is. And I don't know much about the writers or the artists of this. I had to have it because it was the Future Foundation. But this is issue 4, issue 1 through 3. They're trying to get all the pieces to Molecule Man. And that's basically the premise. So all the kids that were, Future Foundation kids, along with Alex Power and his sister, they go on and they're trying to track down all the pieces of Molecule Man. So that's really freaking cool. Of course, this one, Future Foundation, it kind of got pulled from Marvel before it really even got a head start. I mean, after number 1, they found out that not a lot of people were putting number 1 on the pull list. So they went ahead and kind of like canceled it before it could even get legs underneath it, which kind of sucks. But Marvel, the company, they're pushing a lot of the X-Men books and the mutant books and things of that nature. Anything Donny Cates writes is also really popular. But Marvel, the company, the big machine, they'll push stuff onto Preview's world to make sure that previews the website and the magazine, or the pre-order book, they push stuff, big ass ads, they'll tell the comic book store owners all that stuff as well, what they're trying to push. And if Marvel doesn't spotlight Future Foundation and tell the people, then the people aren't going to buy Future Foundation. I mean, the thing about it is, nowadays, a lot of comic book collectors, this is just my own opinion, is they jump on the bandwagon of a lot of different stuff. But if Future Foundation ever gets put on the bandwagon by Marvel or by Diamond, people aren't going to pick it up. The only people that are going to pick this up is if you're fans of the Fantastic Four, or if you're fans of the Power Pack kids, or if you're fans of Future Foundation. Otherwise, no one's going to pick this up. And in my channels, it's not the biggest channel in the world. I don't have all the tens of thousands and millions of subs. If I say, hey, Future Foundation's great, go pick this up, most likely no one's going to pick this up. If they did, people would be, Dynamite would keep printing Dark Shadows comic books, brand new ones. So, I can only talk about what I like and what I love, but Future Foundation, it's been pretty good. It's written to be more so, if you're a teen would love this kind of book because there's a lot of teen situations. And, of course, the kids are teens. So I liked it. Last issue will be issue 5, so hopefully they can find all the pieces of Molecule Man, or kind of share a little bit of the Future Foundation, can kind of share a little bit of the stuff that's going on in the Fantastic Four. Before I show you my last new book, I'm going to check the chat again. Creature still here. Comic Cat 84. Sound like they're going to make Black Adam an anti-hero type story in the Rock film. How do you feel about that? I'm not too familiar with the character. Well, Black Adam, started out as being a guy that was trying to save Klondike, and like help his he was tired of the oppression. He was tired of people beating him down, making him a slave, and all that kind of good stuff. I do think they're probably going to go after the New 52 origin story, where it was actually Black Adam's nephew that the Wizard was going to bestow the powers upon. But Black Adam, did something to his nephew, and then he got all the power. So once he had the power, he overthrew the evil Klondike government, and then he took over as the ruler and supreme leader of that country. So Black Adam is not a guy you want to mess with. You know what I mean? Unable to connect to chat. Please try again later. Oh, wow. The chat, the live chats on here haven't been that great. Let me try to refresh this real quick and see if I can get the chat to come back the way I want it, where I don't get kicked off my stream. There we go. Kind of just a little refresh did the trick. Good stuff there. All right, let me get back on, and I'm going to show you this series that I have not read yet. I'm very excited, though, is Green Lantern Black Stars #1. Grant Morrison coming back with us. And I don't know if it's the same artist or if it's a new artist. Oh, man, this is only a 3-issue? Damn. I didn't know how long they were going to go with this series. But it's a continuation of the Grant Morrison storyline that he had going in, you know, the months prior, the 1 through 12. But it looks like it's only a 3-issue mini, but I'll definitely enjoy this. Here is the variant cover, little variant virgin cover by Darik, I guess is his name. Very cool. Hal Jordan, the Black Stars. You got that vampire girl. You got his 2 Black Star buddies, and they're working for this guy here. I can't remember. His name was Mew the Controller. Mew the Controller. M-U the Controller. But very freaking cool. Very cool cover. Got some old school Lantern people there. There's that Mongol. There's that Starro. Who else do we got in here? Can't recognize any of these other freaks, but they look evil. So I am pumped for this. I love Hal Jordan, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with Hal Jordan in the months to come. Because I collect Hal Jordan. I don't collect Green Lantern Corps. I know on the Bolo show and Simple Man they're talking about a new Green Lantern coming out. Not really into it, but I love the Hal Jordan stuff. Love me some Hal Jordan, so got those 2 there. Last, I'm going to open... Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm going to open up this box here. These I got really cheap. Now, this is some back issue goodness. And hopefully they're better quality than my current run of this series. I got the whole run of this except issue number 6. Let me show you what these are. Then I'll have to bag and board these and put these in my, I'll give you a hint, put these in my Jonah Hex boxes. I've got about, I'll probably have 2 short boxes, or at least 1 short box and a half a short box dedicated to everything Jonah Hex. So we'll show you that real quick. I don't want to keep y'all too long today because I'm getting kind of hungry and it's past my lunchtime. Good packaging. Check it out. Great packaging. I got these from eBay. And looks like they're bagged and boarded as well. On the bottom of the box, they had some little thin bubble wrap. And then they came in this, which was really pretty cool. Maybe a heat-sealed type bag gimmick. I don't know. But let's open her up and see what we got here. You might be able to see through the plastic there. We're rocking in 720p today. Hashtag Legend got fiber. Got that gigabit fiber. But people are like, well, Legend, why don't you do 720 60 frames a second or 1080p? And I haven't tested any of that out yet, mainly because I was getting some errors on my screen. My computer is 10 years old, and it's actually too slow to encode video and do video processing encoding live, that is, because it's 10 years old. That's okay, though. It's all right. Look at this bad boy. Now, these will be going in Mylar. Hex number 1. Newsstand. That's kind of cool. These are all very fine to near mint. Better than the current copies I have, though, so that's always good. Let's put these down flat like this. Hex number 2. Now, in this storyline, I've not read this storyline, but supposedly in this storyline at the Jonah Hex Volume 1, I want to say this was 80s, so 73 to maybe 84. I don't know. Suck with the numbers. Suck with the finer details on some of this stuff. This is number 3. But supposedly what happens is Jonah Hex gets teleported to a post-apocalyptic future. So kind of think Jonah Hex as your Mel Gibson Mad Max. But still just a fucking badass, man. Number 4. Hex number 4 there. Let me just show you that again. Those tentacles and stuff. Bloodsuckers in a world gone mad. Sounds like Washington, D.C. All right, we got Hex number 5. We skipped number 6. I'll have to look at my number 6 and see if it's a keeper, if it's one I just need to get rid of. Most likely I'll be donating my other Jonah Hexes were pretty much beat to shit, so I'll probably donate them to the library and we can give them away at our library's comic book, free comic book day. There's number 7. Number 8. Like I said, these are in poly. I like that one. Day of the Cyborg. That's kind of cool. That was 9. This is number 10. I like his outfit too. It looks pretty cool. It looks kind of Johnny Blaze-ish. Blaze-ish. Night of the Batman. Ooh. What's Batman doing in this storyline? You never know, man. You never freaking know. When a hero falls. So this was kind of like what could be considered maybe a what-if story. What if Jonah Hex got teleported into the future? It's issue 13, which they revisited that in the New 52 All-Star Western featuring Jonah Hex, where Booster Gold, his blunders took Jonah Hex to the future. I like that cover right there. Is that a Darwin Cook cover? No, it's Keith Giffen and Gord Zone. I mean, I kind of got a little Darwin off this cover, but I dig that cover there. Yeah, these are all Giffen, I guess. This one's Denny's Cohen after someone else. But yeah, you get some little Giffen interiors, which is really cool. Man, these are really nice too. Superman number 1 is... Look, Superman number 1 is coming. Oh my God, you got to get that. Beautiful copies though. Very fine to near mint. And this is issue 18, and I think they ended at 18, I believe. Pretty sure. Hex, the last Hex story. Destined to be a classic. When you look at it on the cover, the last Hex story, you know, exclamation point. Destined to be a classic. So it really tries to tell the reader that, yes, this is the last Hex story. Yes, this is going to be one for the ages. Now, until I read it, will it be one for the ages? I don't know. I mean, it all depends on how much I get into the post-apocalyptic style Jonah Hex. Looking at one of my drawer boxes, it seems like something fat and something big fell on it. Looks kind of beat up there. So that was the Jonah Hex. And then the last 2 hardcovers I want to show. Hey, what's up, Gino the Dragon, man? Great to see Gino the Dragon. Creature says he's doing some cleaning too. Sorry I haven't checked the chat very much, but when I'm on a roll, I want to kind of give you all the info before it escapes the brain flow, if you know what I mean. I got these. These came in a slipcase. I usually toss the slipcases because they take up too much room. But I got both of these for like a good price. You got the Complete Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck by none other than Don Rosa. And the cool thing about these, you get all of the bonus stories that were written but to go in between what was going on. So you get those, man. Like this one here. Look at this artwork. Dude, isn't that beautiful? That's Don Rosa, man. You get the untold... This is the story of the untold tales, the in-between stories. In-between stories, the related stories. You get the Duck Family Tree, the photo gallery, Laughing Times of Don Rosa, which is kind of cool. Let's see how Don did himself in here. I mean, you get a lot of cool stuff in these books. And in this one, you're getting a lot of the, like I said, the untold stories. But you get a lot of Western, you know, type stories. You get a lot of the old Yukon, Uncle Scrooge, you know, wearing the Davy Crockett coonskin cap. You get some medieval stuff. You get some castle stuff. There's the family tree right there. Scrooge's family tree. And you get a lot of just the old school stuff. There he is. There's the man. Don Rosa. Don Rosa. So, Love these. Of course, this is the complete Laughing Times here. This is all chronological, the Laughing Times of Scrooge McDuck, because in the Don Rosa stories themselves, you get him telling the nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, some of the old stuff. But in this one, you're getting the Laughing Times. At Part 1, the Laughing Times of Scrooge McDuck, 17th century. Yeah, so basically it starts out, he's in the money bin, and he's like, how did I get all the fortune, blah, blah, blah. And then you get to go through all of the stuff of the years. And you can go to Wikipedia and find, like, the years of his life and everything like that. But this is him as a little boy right there. That's Scrooge's little boy. So you get all the way from the little boy Scrooge all the way to Uncle Scrooge as we know it from DuckTales. Don't tell Don I said that word, because those bastards at Disney pretty much took him for all these words, you know. The Shiny Dime, the Money Bin, the Beagle Boys, all of that stuff, those adventures and everything like that. Disney pretty much stole from Don Rosa and Carl Barks, Duckburg, Carl Barks created all that. Disney stole that, and then they used it for that damn cartoon DuckTales. So, now granted, as a kid I watched some DuckTales, I ain't gonna lie, but hindsight being 2020 and having an adult brain to understand that Disney's always done people like that, whether it be George Lucas or Jim Henson, you know what I mean? They take properties, or they take things. Of course I know Donald was theirs first, but there would be no Scrooge McDuck if it wasn't for Carl Barks. And that was a bear for Christmas, I think was the storyline. Maybe 1945, don't quote me on that, by Dell Four-Color. But, I mean, there would be none of that kind of stuff if it wasn't for these, people. And of course Disney, they just get their money and everything. It's, the house the mouse built or whatnot, but it is what it is. I don't have Disney Plus yet. I'm still kind of waiting, holding my breath there. Do I really need to pay some extra money? Although I did look at a lot of those classic movies. I'm not stereotypical. Gargoyles was cool. Yeah, it was awesome. Star Wars Mandalorian, I'm sure that's kick-ass. I do like Star Wars. And all that other kind of stuff. But I was really more into those Wide World of Disney's that came on Sunday night, where you had old Walt Disney doing the narrations, like Davy Crockett and the River Pirates, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Swiss Family Robinson, Pollyanna, Old Yeller, the Shaggy Dog. I'm kind of more into that classic Disney live-action type movies. But I mean, if there is some Donald Duck cartoons on there, no doubt about it, I'll be watching them, But fans, that's about all I have to show today on the Great Legend Show. Michael Jocko, what's going down? Hope you're doing good, brother. Watching football, setting up some videos for the week, and saw you were live. So, of course, I had to show some love and see what you were showing off. Yeah, man, I don't do a lot of show and tells as much as I used to. Normally, my comic book reviews or comics that I read through the week, we do on Comic-Core Friday nights on Off the Rails. And, you occasionally, you might see me on Comic-Core on Thursday night when we go outside the issues. Like I said before, we had a great Thursday night where we interviewed Gordon Smuter from Transylvania Television, and also the owner and proprietor of the Puppet Forge, where he makes puppets for people, and they're kind of like those puppets like on the Muppets and stuff like that, that kind of puppet. So he makes those. And Transylvania Television, if you have Amazon Prime, make sure you check out Transylvania Television. And he does the voice for old the Acker Monster, the old orange Yeti, or shall we call it the albino Yeti, because most Yetis are white, Abominable Snowman. Furry J. Acker Monster, that's him, Furry. They call him Furry, but he's the voice of Furry, so it was really cool. And what's hard when you're interviewing someone like that is, and you hear that little, I'm really good with voices and, voiceover. Well, I haven't done a lot of voiceovers, but I've done commentaries, and I've got some great voices in the pipe. To unleash on the masses one of these days when I get into my second career, which will be voice acting. But if I can break into it, or even just to basically do voiceovers for commercials, you know what I mean? Or even work QVC, man. I had Legends Live Auction, probably the greatest auction in all of YouTube comic book community history. So I know I could sell some stuff on QVC, you know what I mean? But that'll all come down in the future, probably when I'm 52 and I'm retired from my current career. But fans, I had a great time spending my Saturday with you, and I hope you go on and get some kick-ass comic books this week. If you want to subscribe down below, check out the Comic Core. We do live shows Monday through Friday. Tons of different people. It's not just me always on there. You know, we have Alec, the Natural White Whale Comics. We have John's Comics with Kids. We have the Macho Head 84 on there sometimes. My favorite voice actor is Onage Pranks. Damn, I'll have to look into that. I've never heard of that Onage Pranks before, Michael. I'll have to check into that guy. Kind of listen to his voice. And, of course, Mel Blanc classic. You know, Conroy and Hamill. Mark Hamill, you know, from the Batman stuff. They're really good. Carol Spinney doing Oscars, really good. Who else? Frank Oz, of course. Freaking awesome. I'm looking at Super Grover. That's what made me think of Frank Oz there. But so cool. Oh no, it's ending. Yeah, Aggressively Wrestling. Check it out. Fast forward if you need to through the different things. But I showed a lot of stuff I've been reading. I talked a lot about Dick Tracy. I talked some Don Rosa, some Jonah Hex, some new items. Some Shazam by Denny O'Neil, Chester Gould's Dick Tracy. We showed the deluxe hardcover issue of number 6 of The Sixth Gun. Thing about this is they're too tall for my shelf, so I lay these on their sides on my bedroom shelf, on my lower bedroom shelf. I've got 1 and 2 and 6. I forgot I had ordered 6, but I went ahead and ordered 3, 4, and 5, and then I think it's 3's coming from somewhere else, but 4 and 5 should be coming today from Amazon. I just hope Amazon ships really crappy, you know, shitty shipping. They just throw a damn kick-ass hardcover in a box with maybe one of those air bubble things. Really sucky. This one was actually shipped very well, and it had some little damage up there at the top and a little on the side there, but nothing really cracked through the hardcover itself. So I'm cool with that, but you got to watch out for the way Amazon ships their stuff, man. They really freaking suck. But I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed what I showed everybody. Sorry I don't do a lot of live comic book stuff, per se. I do want to kind of fall in Carson's footsteps, Seawood19, where I at least do some comics and reviews and some stuff on my own channel once or twice a month. Other than that, man, I've just been enjoying life, working a lot, spending time with family, spending time with the wife, gaming. You can see me on Comic Core usually once a week. Last Friday night we had the Mega Powers, Biggie Shack, and Comic Head 84. That was a lot of fun having those guys on. Wasn't feeling really good last night, so I didn't make it on, but I try not to overexpose myself on shows, because, man, I've been doing this 10 damn years, man. I don't need to be on every damn day like I was back in the mid 2010s, you know, like the 2014s and 2015, 2013. Man, it really gets tiring. And, man, there's a lot more gray in the beard now. So it's up to you younger generations to crank out the kick-ass content for the comic book community. But I do appreciate each and every one of you. I love you guys and gals, and we'll see y'all very soon here on the Great Legend Show. We'll probably do some Gauntlet Slayer Edition again, work our way through that. We've been playing that on Steam, which is a lot of fun. I've been playing some Borderlands 3, which have been kick-ass. I do want to get back into playing some Red Dead Redemption and some of the other Lego games, you know, like Lego Supervillains. I beat that in honor of Moyra, who... Moyra, if you don't know, that's Midwest Comic Man's daughter. There's a GoFundMe page. Check that down below. She's been having heart surgeries and a lot of trouble back and forth. So they've already raised over $5,000 on the GoFundMe. Their next goal is $8,000. So thank y'all so much for anyone who has donated money to Moyra and helping her along her journey and road to recovery. And Comic Core had their last auction was a Comic Core charity auction for Moyra, which we raised quite a bit of money for that as well. You know, just kind of taking care of the community, giving back to the community, making sure it's all about the community over there on the Comic Core and things like that. But fans, I gotta go get something to eat. I'm freaking hungry. So this is the great legend saying peace out. God bless.